Kirai27, thanks for the sub. I appreciate the support. Video game was a mistake. I agree. What's up, chat? Are you gonna miss the screaming when in Japan? Probably. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Also, the music is great. I only play hype soundtrack in the beginning, and then I turn it down, although I guess retro synthwave could also be considered hype depending on what your definition of hype is, but I can't have like super energetic shit the entire stream. IRL streamer. Would you guys appreciate it if I was walking around Japan doing IRL streamer shit? Because I think that would be too cringe for me to do it. We would appreciate seeing you suffering from interacting with people. Nobody interacts with people who are mumbling to themselves, because at this point everybody knows they're a fucking YouTube streamer, okay? And everyone's like, oh shit, it's a fucking cringe-ass YouTube streamer. Let's not approach him. That or incredibly alcoholic old guy. You could film yourself at a hentai artist expo in Akiba? No. Johnny Salami, yes. stream arcade tours. I'm probably not going to stream outside because that would require me to like get an outdoor streaming setup, which is a real pain in the ass, which I don't want to have to deal with. Again, Japanese society is not particularly kind to people who aren't doing the exact same thing as everybody else, so I don't really want to engage in that kind of content. It's just a selfie stick and a power bank. Look, man, I don't want to fucking stream outside. Just the act of having a selfie stick is basically advertising to the rest of society that you're a fucking cunt, okay? It's not pretty. Streaming on the street to see is pretty rude, I think. Yeah. The most famous YouTubers in Japan are considered to be extremely cringe human beings and are not particularly well liked, so no. I will not be going around streaming. Hell, even when I was just taking photos for my trips in Japan, I kind of ended up taking photos of things where it's like, please don't take photos. So it's an entire extra layer of like shit you have to take care of, which I don't enjoy engaging with. Having to legally ballot your school because your hair is the wrong shade of brown. You can all be like, oh, Japanese society is so restrictive. But Japan isn't the country that has like 500 meth heads on the streets. Some of it seems dumb. I mean, they're not going for that because they have a, like, they think it's directly going to lead to drugs and stuff. They're doing that shit because there's still a lot of old people. Like, Japan is actually conservative. When people say that they're conservative in America, it just means that they like a certain specific type of cultural, political values, and doesn't actually mean like they're trying to conserve whatever shit that used to be. But when they say you're conservative in Japan, you're like actually conservative, like you're still like actually stuck in 1950 or so. Japanese people don't die early enough. They are too healthy. That's what the beer companies are saying, where they're like, why are the young people not drinking, buying alcohol like previous generations? Only a few streamers walking through Japan. The ones who are streaming, they're not necessarily live streaming. There's like YouTubers that are like recording shit, but they're not necessarily like yelling at their audience and doing stupid shit while they're live streaming. I think Dog VA does a bunch of IRL stuff in Japan, like just going to bars and talking with people, buying around and stuff. You think I would ever fucking do that? Ever? Just listening to you filthy gaijin talk about your stupid filthy gaijin activities in the glorious country of Nippon is making my samurai spirit annoyed. You don't have the capital to buy around? Yes, I'm extremely poor, guys. Give me more money now. I will go to a bar if every single one of the people in the stream right now gives me 15 subs. I'll consider it. Was The Lesbian Vampire by French horror softcore director Jean Rollin? No. It was just because French people are horny. In general. We watch your streams. You seriously believe any of us have capital? Give me your money now. I don't care. If you have to starve to donate to your favorite streamer, you should. That's what all the VTuber cucks are doing when they buy like a $500 wedding ring for their favorite anime girl VTuber. And then 90% of that money goes to her agency and the remaining 10% goes to her boyfriend. Should have been born as a hit VTuber girl, rest in peace. I wonder what percentage of V girls actually like successfully like hold on to their money. Because, like, you often hear how much the fucking agency somehow is able to scam them out of it. VTubers don't go out. I'm pretty sure VTubers are definitely going out. You just want to think that they're nerdy girl shut-ins without a boyfriend, just like you, for real, for real. They're middle-aged women who have lots of friends and outside contacts, and they go out drinking with their buddies. What percentage of female VTubers are old guys using a voice changer? Probably not that high, honestly. There's plenty of actual women who are just old women using a voice changer. Just do some voice exercises to deepen your voice and bait female viewers. I have to make the Ikebo. Oi. Oi, omae. どうしたんだ? 俺のことかい? I learned from Love and Deep Space that to attract my female viewers, I have to ask them about their period and ask them if they're going okay. Surely this experience in female psychology will help me at the bar. I just need to walk up to a woman and ask if she's on her period and if she's feeling okay. It's a flawless plan. I think there was this guy who had this unnaturally deep voice because of medical condition, and people went apeshit over him to the point of revealing his face without his consent. It's so weird how, like, the combination of modern feminism has, like, they've injected all these ideas of non-traditional masculinity into media, but then women still have all of the same kind of like desires for like hyper masculine traits like deep voices and height and stuff like that, but then they also want to combine that with like basically non-masculine traits like child rearing, so they don't have to raise their own children. They're trying to have like the best of both worlds, in which they want all the traits that come from like men with high testosterone, but also like all the traits from like estrogen as well. It's a very strange world we live in, and by strange world I mean third wave and fourth wave feminism is just absolutely diluted bullshit. It's not weird to want it all, to be honest. I mean, I don't think there's any men in real life who are like, ooh, muscle mommies. It would be the equivalent if guys were like, actually like, I need an 8-foot tall vampire, gentle dom, muscle mommy, goth mommy. And they were like being fucking serious when they were like writing that into their needs and profile on like Tinder or whatever. And there were New York Times editorials about how there's no reason why women can't be 8 feet tall. It's 2025, women. You must go out and hunt and provide sustenance for the man, but also get pregnant and have children as well. What's wrong with that exactly? It's that there are some bodily, physiological things that are capable because of certain hormones, and those certain hormones interfere with other things. People over 6'5" look odd, especially for women. Maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some like 6'5" volleyball players that look fine. You want the tall woman yokai? I mean, I guess. But I'm not considering it as like a realistic thing. Did you see The Rock recently? Oh no, did he not use enough steroids? I hope he's doing okay. It must have been serious for him to stop blasting. He's kind of old. The Rock, Dwayne. Oh yeah. He really has fucking cut his insane amounts of steroid use. I'm guessing at some point the doctor was just like, you're gonna die. What's up? Probably his balls started shrinking too much, so he got off the roids. No, that's not how it works. His balls have been shrinking on and off his entire life because he's been using steroids his entire life. Steroid users, like when they're on their cycle, they all of them, their balls shrink and they don't really think twice about it. That's just part of their lifestyle. So they must have been like, got like some serious blood test where the doctor was like, you have to stop right now, or some shit like that. Like ball shrinkage is part of the normal lifestyle for them, so that wouldn't be enough for him to stop. Does he even have balls at this point? Baki has taught me that if you're a powerful martial artist, you just sort of pull your balls up into your body. So you can't get kicked in the balls. And everything in Baki is definitely 100% true, so... Does your cock grow at least? I think any kind of like sexually related function in your body are probably negatively affected. Just imagine you have 3,000 joints in your arm, bro. Do you not? Non-imagination cells. The same imagination that allows me to draw these amazing works of art is also what allows me to imagine I have 3,000 joints in my arm, which allows me to throw punches faster than the speed of sound. Do you think Oliver has foreskin? If so, can he contract it to focus his piss stream to fire hose levels of pressure? If we wait another 4 or 5 more volumes of Baki, there probably will be like an actual episode about destroying rocks with your piss stream or something like that. As Itagaki gets increasingly runs out of good ideas, he'll just be like, oh, have you ever contracted your foreskin, guys? Baki isn't as realistic as Rikio tying up his torn tendons. In all seriousness, I think like the true skill of martial arts manga is pushing the envelope on how stupid a thing you can present in the manga that somehow seems just a slight bit believable. It's all about the suspension of disbelief. And early Baki does like a really, really good job towing that line. It's like, hey, they say there's scientific evidence that you can do this, and you're like, yeah, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe there is scientific evidence that you can do that. Surely Itagaki would never lie to me. Do we ever have imaginary dinner with my dad? No. I've had actual dinner with my dad, though. Which is not as cool. Early Baki is realistic until he fights a big mythical gorilla, LMAO. Yeah, I do wonder when Baki unequivocally became like, okay, that's not happening zone. Personally, I was like, I don't think fighting an imaginary praying mantis is gonna work as training method. But if you're like 12 or 15, just hitting puberty when you read it, when you're reading early Baki, and they say shit like, you know, if you can fight against 4 people at the same time, you won't lose even against like 100 people. That stuff. Like if you're 13, like you read that and you're like, shit, that makes sense. I want to become strong too. She wrote a manga that is essentially Santa Claus Shazam. Reminder that the Baki author is also in the Japanese Self-Defense Force and was doing shit in like their paratroopers corps, which is, you know, the most intense physical stuff as well, so... Will you play the Snake Eater remake? No. I saw enough replays of it that I was like, yeah, I don't need to play this. I have better things to do with my time than play a inferior recreation of one of the best games of all time that is still very entertaining to be played in its original form. Colors in the EDF look off. It looks like a fan project, to be honest. There doesn't feel much authorship there because there is none. That's exactly how I felt with the RE4 remake, but the RE4 remake has pretty significant gameplay improvements. Also, the art style I feel has some amount of directorship in its colors and stuff. The Snake Eater remake, it just feels like out of the package Unreal assets. Like, it doesn't feel like they made anything new, honestly. Apparently Platinum redid the fake game in it. I can't remember which one that was. You mean like the Ape Escape? Was that in 3? I can't remember. That's some lung capacity. That wasn't much lung capacity because I wasn't making much noise. You can probably groan for a long time if you try it yourself. I don't think it's that hard. I didn't even empty most of my lungs right there. You can make a lot of noise without actually exhaling much. It was some weird DMC clone. I forgot what it's called. Wait, when did that show up? It's been a while since I played Snake Eater. Was it during like one of the end sequences or something? When like Snake was dying? I can't remember. I was told by the doctor I exhale about 20% less than I should. You can always just like not breathe and die, I guess. That's always an option. Otherwise, you probably should exhale more. I think you'll pick up One Piece again once it has concluded. When I'm in Japan, I can go to a manga cafe and just read it very quickly and flip through it, which is probably what I will do. I've promised myself that I'm not going to buy any, like, actual physical books for a long, long time. Because I want to keep the amount of physical objects I own to be very few. Will you visit a soap land once you're in Japanese? No. Shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna stream outside. I'm not gonna go to a soap land. You're no fun. You know what's also not fun? Syphilis. There's nothing worse that you can do to yourself as a human being than following the recommendations of people who are watching you as entertainment on the internet. Because if it's entertaining to them, they will literally, you know, convince people to essentially kill themselves. That's basically what happened to Johnny Somali. Is his entire audience was people who was like, hey, wouldn't it be entertaining for quote-unquote us, entertaining for us, if Johnny picked a fight with this person and got sent to jail, and that attention-hungry dumbass was stupid enough to actually allow his fan base to dictate his actions. A really bad idea. I thought they were super strict about STDs and shit at soaplands. They probably are if you're just going to soapland. If you want to go and like get streetwalkers, which are all the rage nowadays, that's where you get your syphilis. Soapland, you're probably fine. I don't know. In fact, guys do realize that the better I get at drawing, the higher the chance of me just becoming a professional mangaka. It goes higher and higher up, which means that I probably won't be streaming anymore when that happens, you know? You professional with your work ethic? My work ethic is fine. I draw all day. Just need to figure out how to cut corners and stuff. You'll probably get there eventually. I mean, there's a lot of different levels to professional mangaka. You guys just don't think about them because you only pay attention to whatever the recent Jump, Shonen Jump content is. %80 of what I consume is slice of life or romance. What I'm saying is that besides the main magazines and stuff, there's a whole ecosystem of lower paying, lower quality manga publishing setups. Japanese publishing industry is very large and active, unlike America, so if you're not making it in Shonen Jump, selling 8 gorillion books, you can go to a different location. Marvel Comics editorial is too busy baiting fans into thinking they got rid of Paul in Spider-Man comics. They can never get rid of Paul, he's too powerful. What an amazing Giga Chad. I wish I could be like Paul every day. He's both masculine and effeminate, kind yet strong. We must all be better men like Paul. Who's Paul? Wow, I can't believe this loser doesn't know about Paul, the best Spider-Man character of all time. It's this Giga Chan with a man bun and ironic Brooklyn beard. Here he is, this muscular man is designing, I guess, like web throwers or some shit for Mary Jane. I forgot where he came from, but he was like supposed to be like, I don't know, the cuckold fantasy or of like the self-insert writer or whatever. I don't know. He's just become a huge meme on 4chan. That's the only reason I know about him. You can do your own personal deep dive and do your own research regarding this guy, but he doesn't look like Kevin James. I don't know. I thought you guys would know more about Paul considering he's a CO meme. I don't know shit about the comic book industry. Somebody who actually is wasting their time reading American comics, please explain Paul to the rest of the people in chat. Now that he has been mentioned, we have to go into the deep dive of Paul. Wiki says they broke up. I mean, any kind of relationship that Mary Jane is having with somebody besides Peter Parker is probably going to be temporary. Because they have to be like, oh my god, Peter's getting cocked. Oh my god, actually, all the new information and all the new characters we introduced, they're no longer relevant. Because we have to keep on putting the same toys back in the toy box so they can be used again. After so much time, I still really can't figure out how to ink in a way that I find satisfactory. Still trying to figure it out. I figured it out a little bit, but not all the way. Honestly, anything can happen after they made Spider-Man literally deal with the devil so he can't be with MJ. I mean, can we really criticize Marvel Comics that much? People criticize One Piece for starting to lose the sauce after Oda has been working on it for 20 years. But imagine if One Piece had been going on for, what is it, 70 years? When did Spider-Man come out? The 60s? I can't remember. And it was like, why hasn't Luffy found the One Piece yet, guys? Well, the reason is pretty fucking simple. It's because if he finds the One Piece and people find out what the One Piece is, then the story is over. For the same reason, Peter can never, marry MJ and settle down or whatever the fuck that character arc supposedly is supposed to be. Would rather read Gogol 13 and then find out if Spidey gets back with MJ and has kids. I wonder how this Cold War era political issue will be solved now that they have hired Golgo 13. Will Golgo 13 shoot somebody? It's impossible to know. You have to read to find out. Actually, at this point, sometimes, entire chapters go by in Golgo 13 without, anybody getting shot, so even this sarcastic comment really doesn't mean much because they actually have to do a lot of shit to, deal with, the series going on forever. It's a real issue. If you have a series that isn't focused on one character and one character's story arc, it can go on for a very, very long time or forever, like Golgo. But as long as there's a main character and that main character has a story arc, which they should have, eventually the story has to end. And obviously the Spider-Man story has started and ended multiple times already, considering they have to be like, no, Peter's dead, he killed MJ with his radioactive spider sperm, and then he got taken over by Dr. Octopus, and then Miles Morales is the new Spider-Man, and now we have 8 other Spider-Man, and anybody can be Spider-Man. That's the whole point of our new series, and so on and so on. At least it isn't DC rebooting the main line 5 or 4 times. Hasn't Marvel also rebooted several times, though? Marvel timeline reboots. Marvel Ultimate Universe doesn't count in my opinion. Well, that is stupid. Reddit comic books. 616 is still around. New 52 does count as a reboot. I don't think Marvel has ever had an actual reboot, says the Stealth Box 8 years ago. DC has only had 2. This was 8 years ago when I think New 52 was still around, so it's probably been at least 3. Not really, just some retcons. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you're quote-unquote officially rebooting your universe or not. The only thing that matters is if a new kid is coming in and he wants to start reading Spider-Man, and then you're like, well, which version of Spider-Man do you want to start reading? Do you like Ultimate Spider-Man? Do you like Classic Spider-Man? Do you like The Amazing Spider-Man? Do you want to read about Zombie Spider-Man? And they're like, And then right next to that, they can just pick up Bleach Volume 1. And that's all they need to know is that it says 1 on the fucking book. Then they're all gonna go to the goddamn manga, as has been already demonstrated. New 52 definitely counts. So what's the version after New 52? There's nothing that I found more stupid when I saw Superman ending New 52 by punching something. Superman punch and New 52. Was it? I can't remember whether it was New 52 or a different universe at this point. Maybe it wasn't New 52. Maybe it was one of the different versions. Either way, is there any reason why U.S. comic industry versus manga sales? The AI answer says manga holds 43% of the North American graphic novel market in 2023, whereas superhero comics has 15% of market share. I don't think there's been any new articles on this since 2023. That's all the official data I'm seeing. Maybe they're trying to hide that shit because it's too embarrassing. Zoomers don't give a fuck about Marvel or DC. I mean, who does? Like, who's buying Batman number 5000? And why would you? I bet Batman and Superman still sells well. Nah, not really compared to manga, that's the problem. In fact, I don't think it even sells well compared to like their previous numbers or whatever. For one thing, Americans just don't read as much anymore, and they never read that much in the beginning. Years ago, a friend worked in a comic book store, and Batman is the top selling at that store. Kind of sad if you think about it. There hasn't been any innovation in storylines or what they're shitting out since I was a child, basically. Although I guess when I was a child, people were just reading X-Men. That's my primary memory as a child, is 90s Marvel storylines being about X-Men and Psylocke in a bikini and stuff. Psylocke in Marvel Rivals has Ninja Turtle eyes. What, you mean like this? See if I can draw Ninja Turtles from my memory. Can't remember, was it like this? I distinctly remember 90s Ninja Turtles kind of looked like this. They kind of had white googly eyes with dots. That seems pretty close. Ninja Turtles 90s. I don't know, man. Seems about right. I think the snout is too small. We gotta lower it like this. There's like just a giant fucking, just like round shape right here. And then the eye, I forgot that their eyes are actually hidden because they have the fucking bandana around their eyes. Yeah, that seems about right. You can draw the most derpy shit sometimes. You guys just don't appreciate true art. Like Van Gogh, I'm ahead of my time. My artistic sensibilities are too advanced for you plebs to understand. Recent turtle designs are so shit. They basically did the same thing that all the corporations did with their minimalist logos, you know. If you just Google Ninja Turtles right now, you get a horrible mix of some of the most ugliest shit you've ever seen. Like, how do you like this, guys, for example? Look, they gave Donatello fucking glasses because if there's one thing about someone who invents things, it means they have to fucking have glasses, right, bros? Yeah. This is the newest Ninja Turtles movie. And then there's this, of course. I wonder if there's going to be people who are going to look back at whatever era we're going to call this and be like, yeah, shit was so good and creative back then. I mean, this is different, at least. They're certainly pushing it. Usually I would be like, I appreciate their attempts to, you know, push a different art style or something, but I fucking hate it. They fucked up April. I mean, that's the number one thing, is that when we look back at this era, you can be like, look, there's a character that is white in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s rendition of her. However, in this version, she is black. Also, it used to be a white man, now it's a black woman. I wonder what year in which this meteor was produced. It's impossible to tell, guys. Although if we're saying the same thing about like images where you can instantly tell what age it was made in, this this outfit plus this hairstyle right here is a pretty good indicator. People don't wear this shit anymore, that's for sure. The combination of t-shirt, vest with this weird like turquoise and then yellow with patterns and shit on top of the white t-shirt, plus, I don't know, these silver and purple gymnastic leggings, I guess, with the black tight skirt and then like the perm. This is like peak transitioning from 80s to 90s aesthetic right here. The hair is still 80s, but the outfit is 100% 90s. If this was 80s, she would have like a suit and the shoulder pads. very important part. Now show 2000s April. You mean the one that people keep on asking me to draw porn of? Oh no, this isn't the... This is the... Oh, I forgot about this version actually. Yeah, that is pretty peak 2000s right there. I forgot this version existed. Wow. I forgot how 2000s-y she was. It's like I'm back in middle school again. You can't take her out of her iconic orange jumpsuit, guys. That woman lived in a jumpsuit. With like 15 pockets. We can never abandon this version where she has lots of boobs, but also she's dressed like, I don't know what she's dressed like. I don't think I've ever seen anybody dressed like April O'Neil, except April O'Neil. Like this full body, bright yellow jumpsuit with like all these fucking pockets and like white boots and shit. And she's a reporter. I don't know. It's a one-of-the-kind kind of thing. Video pause. Continue watching. Yes. YouTube really doesn't like me using ad block and getting unlimited amounts of shitty AI composed music. Stupidly enough, workified Mary Jane went from being a model to being a reporter in the Spider-Man games. Are you ignoring the part where she just straight up became ugly? That bothers me more. I mean, you have reporters who are hot because it's still a job in which you're on camera, but Mary Jane was like, I'm a journalist! A very serious journalist. Also, I'm supposed to be attractive, but I'm not. Because whoever's designing me has been purposefully told to make sure to not make attractive women. Oh well, I'm glad it's... Most of the Wokeify era seems to be ending before our eyes, so... We don't really need to worry too much about that anymore, I would say. Was the Spider-Man game on PS4 any good? I don't know. I don't really play any kind of IP that isn't like originally a video game. That's one of the ways I've trained myself, is to just avoid it, because like as we know from the Enter the Matrix games and stuff that we just had on Guess the Game, they were usually some of the worst games that got like 50% on Metacritic and stuff, so like, even if you had a good one once in a while, it was best to just avoid them as hard as possible. Origin Wolverine. I played a little bit of it, but ultimately, the amount of combos and shit that you can do, it's not as good as like an actual action game like Ninja Gaiden. So your time is almost always best spent elsewhere, unless you really, really want to just spend more time with like Spider-Man and shit. There's just very few things that are based on outside IPs that I think end up making good video games. You kind of need the video game to be included in the concept from ground up for it to be a good interactive experience. Also, I fucking hate New York. How about that? I don't actually hate New York, but I kind of do. Because I remember just getting really bored of Grand Theft Auto 4, which is a very good, faithful rendition of New York as a concept. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm not enjoying being in New York in general. I don't know if I would hate it if I lived there in real life, but I wasn't enjoying playing any video games there. Grand Theft Auto 3 was fun because it's not like a real city at that point, but I want more games set in Vegas. Vegas is the best place for video games. Because, like, you can have all this, like, fake architecture. So you can, it's like you can have France and New York in the same video game if it's all just set in Vegas. Vegas is exactly the kind of garish shithole that I want to shoot up in my Rainbow Six shooter setting. New York City is great if you can hack city life. You mean that if you're rich and you're not being forced to use the subway in the middle of the night and getting pissed on by homeless people, it's a better existence? Damn. Crazy. I think a lot of the appeal of New York is like being part of the city life and being part of like all these weird people and stuff like that. And I don't like that as just like a general concept. I don't like people, so as a result, I don't find being any kind of New York content really entertaining or enjoyable. I have been to New York. I just haven't like lived there. Hmm. Alright, I know I haven't streamed much, but let's do a little bit of guess the game and end the stream after that because I'm super focused on trying to figure out how to one-shot my my line work and the speed at which I need to move my hands and like how to think about it, and I can't go full focus mode on stream, so I feel like I'm like on the cusp of really figuring shit out. I have it like 70% figured out, but I need a little bit more. Guess the game 1205. Looks like NBA 2K. I would be shocked if this wasn't just some version of NBA 2K, but which one? What the fuck? Why would they even do this? You really need to focus when it's dealing with lines. I get that. Like I up until this point, I've been using like an approach where I just keep on drawing until like eventually I find the lines that I like. But I'm trying to really figure it out on like how to draw consistently on the first try instead of like repeatedly inputting stuff until I get what I like. So I'm re-examining my process right now. I really learned a lot drawing manga chapter 4 about like how to build an image and like what kind of line thickness I should be using on the outer lines and the inner lines and stuff like that, and I'm almost really close to sort of figuring it out, but it's not really there. I'm gonna put in NBA 2K. Yes, I guess every year is gonna be different. Let's just put in 2K 24. Submit. It is franchise NBA 2K Martin. %. What's the most recent NBA 2K? Is Martin a player that's only in a certain year? I mean, if they have legacy players, it could be anyone. It could be like Kenyon Martin, classic Kmart. I mean, there's all these fucking signs and stuff. U9 Martin, 79%. Do they not have just like 2K24? Doesn't seem like it. What's the most recent one? 2K22? This is fucking impossible. Oh, PS3? Okay. What year did PS3 end? Like, what was it? It would be like 2K14? When did the PS4 come out? That was like 8 years ago, so it'd have been like 2017 or so, I think, right? So it has to be before 2017. You could try 2K10. God, this is so fucking stupid. Oh, is this Jam? What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck are these graphics? Jesus fucking Christ. Are they supposed to be bad? Is that JD Vance right there? What the fuck is this? About NBA 2K6. This has got to be Jam, right? What the fuck is this shit? Playgrounds 2? Bro. So it's clearly like an NBA Jam version of NBA 2K. But is there something called like NBA 2K Jam? I think NBA Jam would give me NBA Jam. Or is NBA Jam original being called NBA Jam 99? NBA Jam 2002? The PS3 wasn't out in 2002. We'll just put an NBA Jam and see if that gives me something. The answer was NBA Jam. I selected NBA Jam and they didn't give me... Oh, they did give it to me. What the fuck? Bro, nobody gives a fuck about some weird-ass re-release of NBA Jam in, like... What year was this? I don't even know. 2010? What the fuck? Just give you, like, the actual NBA Jam. This is why we stopped playing, Guess the Game, because it started just becoming, like, games that nobody really gives a fuck about instead of games that people actually want to enjoy, you know, guessing because they like the video game. I don't know. Looks like Halo art assets. Lockbox. Halo, open world Halo Infinity. No. 72%. Blurry ass hand. Concrete barriers. Yellow ladders. Caves. Looks like maybe PS4 era graphics. Not sure. Metal crates. Perhaps a kill zone. Definitely sci-fi. Or sci-fi adjacent. Killzone 3. No. PS3, Xbox, PC. 72%. Some sort of underground brick structure, perhaps. With lock boxes. Is this a Metro light? I don't think so. I don't think Metro had these large cave systems. RE4, Jesus Christ, will you stop guessing the most famous fucking games that everybody would immediately recognize? There's no way this is RE4, guys. You don't get lock boxes in RE4. It might be one of the Metros I've never played, but I don't think they had lock boxes like this. I don't know. Maybe one of the Resistances. PS3. Let's try Resistance. Resistance, not Fallout. Resistance had really bad graphics though. Genre, action RPG, shooter, stealth. Is this Alpha Protocol? Action RPG, shooter, stealth. The only thing I can think of that would hit all of those is Alpha Protocol. Which I played for 10 minutes and it was so fucking messed up and hard to tell what the fuck is going on. I immediately dropped it. Yeah, I was right. God, I can't believe I allow my brain to still contain information about this incredibly mid video game. Never heard of it. It's like, it tries to be both like a spy game, an action game, and like an RPG game at the same time. It's extremely clunky. It kind of fails at like being every single one of those. It tries to be too many things and isn't like a fun version of any of them. You can like upgrade your character with skill points and make them a hacker, and you know, it wants to be like Deus Ex and stuff. At least there's Sexo. This was pre-DEI. You're allowed to shoot the hooker. Alright guys, see you around. I have to get back to being more serious about drawing instead of talking to you people. I have to focus 100%. See you. Bye.